From UCLA to Oregon State. Colt Brennan all over the country, came from Colorado and a junior college here, and as you see his numbers, and don't let the system fool you. If you have not seen this young man play, and Ron, you and I have studied him all week and leading up to this game, his accuracy, now it's going to be tested in this win, but his accuracy is phenomenal.
So on first down, and they always line up with 4 wide receivers. And you see a fullback to the right side who is in a slot position. And they'll go with a running play on the very first down. And it's Ross Dickerson. So the Hawaii offense leading the nation in points per game, total yards 553.8, and passing yardage 434. 4 starting wide receivers have combined for 39 touchdowns. Best for 13, Sample with 10, Rivers with 8, and Grice Mullen with 8. Not sure if we're going to see a lot of Grice Mullen tonight. He is a young man who has been battling a groin problem. That's Devon Bess, the sophomore out of Oakland, California, that you got to look at, number 7. They'll keep it on the ground again. Running play. This is Dickerson. Takes it up the sideline. Steps out of bounds. That's enough for the first down. So defensively for Oregon State, 38 sacks, tied for 6th most in the nation. 17 different players having at least one, and they're going to need pressure to help their young defensive backs. Keenan Lewis and Brandon Hughes. Free safety is Al Afalava, and they are led by first-team Pac-10 strong safety Sabi Piscatelli, and he is a truly outstanding ball player. And he's a big fella for a safety as well, at 6'3", about what, 230.
Yep, came from Boca Raton, Florida. Was a high school teammate of Evanson Bernard, and actually talked Bernard into coming out and joining him here at Oregon State, and both of them first team all Pac-10 this year.
So running plays, and that is the initial first down of the night for Hawaii, and I'm sure the fans are in shock here so far that they have not already seen about 5 passes. Brennan steps up, gets the ball complete, and that is, it's Bess on the receiving end, and they're going to say he picks up about 4 yards on the play.
And Devon Bess, the one thing you notice right away with these wide receivers is how good they are with their hands. And again, the accuracy of that ball put right there. But the one thing June Jones does not allow his receivers to do is catch the ball with their bodies. They work all the time. Catch it with your hands, because that always impacts yards after catch. If you catch it with your hands, your feet keep moving, you can pick up some yardage.
Second down, they need to take it to the 41. Steps up, drills long over the middle, and it's complete. 45 and down to the 40. And so far, it's been the Devon Bess show. 5'10", 195 sophomore out of Oakland, California.
And Bess, who originally had committed to Oregon State, gotten some off-the-field trouble, and was going to follow through to his commitment, but came to see June Jones, and June Jones has found a way with kids who have some troubled past and looks out for them and says, listen, you've got a chance to come here. You're going to play in a great offense, and he has high praise for this young man. June Jones has coached some great wide receivers. He said this may be one of the best.
Grice Mullen checks into the ball game. That is him in motion, number 1. And they'll hand it off to him. And look at this little wrinkle right up the middle. 20 down to the 18-yard line. Piscatelli making the last 2 tackles. That is a gain of 20 yards on the play.
Well, they do so many things formation-wise, and this is exactly what Mark Banker, the defensive coordinator from Oregon State, told us the other day on the phone. That is so challenging in this run and shoot. You would assume all you're going to do is drop back and play pass coverage, but they do so many different little wrinkles like that. That is just simply a little backdoor cut by Grice Mullen, but a wide receiver lined up on the wing, you just don't expect him to get the handoff.
Dickerson back in the lineup, and they line him up at running back. Sets in the pocket, steps up, here comes pressure, and they will sack him. He will go down behind the line of scrimmage, so they will officially, Bryant Cornell is the man who will be given credit for the sack. Coach Riley.
Excuse me, Ron, but Mike Riley, of course, was the San Diego Chargers head coach. He took over for June Jones. June Jones, who was the interim head coach after Kevin Gilbride was fired. And they actually spoke. Coach Riley called Coach Jones and just wanted to know about the organization and everything before he took the job, and said he gave him some very good advice about what to look for in that organization.
Bryce Mullen back on the field at wide receiver. Here comes pressure, and he's going to go down again. And Oregon State possibly lucky they didn't pick up a flag on still a later hit. Francis is the man who came in to make the tackle, number 4, Koya Jr. out of Rancho Cordova, California.
And he comes on the corner blitz. Francis, a junior college player. They really needed some depth at that cornerback position. And this is the way, when Hawaii gets going, Ron, you have to bring pressure, and you have to bring it a couple of different ways. Their offensive line is very strong, and so a good way to do it is bring it from the outside, where you're probably not going to be going up against one of these big guys.
One of the things that Hawaii gives people trouble with, they throw the pass very quickly. 2, 3-step drop, and they get it off. Here comes pressure again. Stepping up, dumps the ball up, and he throws it to an offensive lineman, and we wait for the flag to come down. No, you know what?
It just looks like an offensive lineman.
Maia. And he weighs 296 pounds, but he's a fullback, folks.
So I threw you off, Ron, because I gave you the signal that there was going to be a penalty flag. But Maia, who used to be a he was about 350 pounds.
356 is what he weighed.
And he's way down to 296 pounds. Heads up play, but boy, I really thought that was going to be a penalty.
This is going to be a 50-yard field goal attempt, and this is into the win by Dan Kelly. 10 of 11 this year. Good pass. Is this going to be long enough? No, just wide right. It was long enough, but the wind pushed it off just a little bit. 2% chance of rain was predicted for this evening, but we didn't know the winds were going to blow quite this way. Brennan out in the flat. Gets it complete, and that is Bryce Mullen hit immediately and pushed back. He'll be given forward progress out to the 29.
Take a look at Hawaii's impact players. Devon Best, we've already seen his impact on the game. In the punt game, he'll also be big. And Adam Leonard, we talked about guys that June Jones finds who other schools have backed off of. Leonard, a sophomore, blew out his ACL 3 games into his senior year. He went to high school in Seattle and didn't redshirt last year. He was not very good, but he's really come on strong. And if Oregon State's going to get a running game going, Leonard, the middle backer, will be key.
Moya in the backfield. He's the fullback. Does a good job of blocking. Pass right over the middle, and there's one in and out of the hands of Bryce Mullen. And I'll say this. After going to practice on Thursday, we knew, Ed, you talked about how much video we've watched of the young Colt Brennan. In practice, they simply don't drop passes. No. They may throw 100 passes and complete 95 of them. It's an amazing thing to watch.
And that's the interesting thing. June Jones works harder than any coach I've ever seen on making his receivers catch it with his hands. You know, some coaches allow guys to cradle it. He just doesn't allow that to happen. And if you can force that as habit, it really helps your offense, especially in situations where you might have to throw in front of the sticks for the catch and run.
3rd down, they need to take it to the 36. Sets in the pocket, going to go long, got a man there, and it is caught at the 48-yard line. And that is Dickerson. Ross Dickerson.
Well, Dickerson was number 82, but because they've already put him in the backfield, he's had to move around. We have not seen Nate Ilawa, their starting running back, who had a bruised heel. They weren't sure if he was going to be able to go. But Dickerson was lined up in the slot, ran a little bit of a wheel route, ended up one-on-one against Piscatelli. And that's a nice throw by Brennan because the defensive back never turned around, so underthrow it and let the guy adjust.
See the numbers on Dickerson. And as Ed said, he's been wearing number 82, but since they were going to use him in the backfield, they put him at number 37 this evening. Huge 3rd down play for Hawaii. Brennan rolls the pocket, going to run, not devoid of speed by any means. He's going to have a gain of 6. So it'll be 2nd and 4 as Doggett makes his 2nd tackle. And you know, Ed, in talking about Oregon State and the importance of this ball game, they want to keep that streak going. They've got 6 of 7 that they won. This is a fertile and important recruiting ground to them. They come to the islands a lot. In fact, 3 coaches are staying over after this game is over. So another reason why Coach Riley told us, hey, we need this win right here. It'd be huge for us.
And they didn't need to take this game, Ron. This is their 13th game. He decided to take it for that exact reason.
You see the linebackers showing blitz. They go with a run. And Dickerson turns the corner. Boy, he gets necktied. And let's see if they give him enough forward progress to pick up the first down. It would appear that he would have it as Daniel Drayton makes the tackle for the Beavers.
Well, it's interesting with the great year that Colt Brennan has had. Devon Best over 1,000-yard receivings for the second year in a row. Yesterday when we were talking to Coach Jones, he said that Dickerson was the team's MVP because he's done so many things. He's played every position, every skill position except quarterback basically in this offense. And with some injuries at that running back spot, Ilawa, who said he was going to be healthy, obviously not tonight.
Well, Mouse Davis, if the name is familiar, with a run and shoot days, and he's the running backs coach. And he thought he was going to be able to go tonight, but a heel is something that can be very, very touchy.
Yeah, especially warming up, he may have bruised it again.
Third down. Did not pick up the first down. It's just inches. And Brennan will go straight ahead, and he'll have the first down. In fact, pretty good wedge there. It's going to go for about 3 yards. And let's go down to the sideline, and Doc has more on Nate.
Well, Ron, the Warriors' leading tailback, Nate Laowa, was hoping to be able to play that, but I learned just before the game they thought his heel was about 50%. If you're wondering why you wouldn't put some numbing medicine, what they call in the football lingo Dr. Kane, Dr. Novocaine, to try to help him play. You ever tried to walk when your foot falls asleep? You can't even stand up. And if that heel was completely numb, he would not be able to turn the corner or feel it. That's why they can't do much. In other words, just endure the pain. I doubt we will see him very much at all tonight.
Okay, Jerry. What we said to his replacement's 296. He is 254. Hit the ball caught in midair by Maawi, and the fullback that I was just talking about, who weighs 296, Maia, takes it down inside the 25-yard line.
Well, this is exactly what we saw last time, and this is Keaton Christic, a true freshman. Knocks the ball loose, and it looked very similar to the last play when it looked like Brennan was going to be sacked, except this time it was not a planned play.
You ought to put that one in the books.
Yep.
Reagan Maia, senior out of Stockton, California. And he is the young man we talked about, weighed over 350 and is all the way down to 296. Wants to throw. Got it out in the flat, has that one complete, and that's Bess again. And Bess, I believe, with what his fourth reception of the young knight is at the 20-yard line.
Well, there's a lot of records on the line tonight for Colt Brennan. Everyone around here wondering if he's going to get a free trip to New York. We already mentioned the touchdown record of David Klingler. One touchdown, he'd tie second with B.J. Simmons of Texas Tech. Completion percentage, he's going to have a great night to catch Dante Culpepper, but the efficiency one, that's a great one. Sean King back in '98 under Tommy Bowden had such a great year. We'll run those numbers for you as the night goes on.
First down from the 20. Draw play, and they give it to the big guy again, and Reagan is going to be stopped. Probably a yard loss on the play. Keaton Christic is the man who made the tackle for Oregon State.
Boy, Christic, a true freshman, they were thinking about redshirting him, but Alan Darlin is fighting with some stingers, and this young man, 6'3", 223-pounder, got great speed. You can already see, Ron, why the coaches are excited. He closes on the tackle very quickly.
Has the look of a linebacker too, doesn't he? I'll tell you, I felt sorry watching Darling yesterday. He wants so badly to play in this football game, and I just don't think there's any way. They hand it off back inside. Bass, ball is loose. Recovered. Well, let's see who got it. Oregon State says they have it, and I believe they do.
Well, that's a great play by Joey LaRock, outside linebacker. Remember, we saw this play the other way to Grace Mullins, this to Devon Bess. And Joey LaRock, a outside linebacker.
Well, wait a minute. I never saw a beanbag go down. Are they saying that he was down before the ball came out? Obviously, they thought so, but Hawaii better run this play in a hurry because I think that was a fumble.
Boy, it sure did look like a fumble to me, Ron.
They called it an incomplete pass.
No, he handed that ball off.
Of course he did.
Wow.
Well, like I said, they better get this play off in a hurry. Third down, pressure off the corners. Drills it in zone. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Bess. And he was there for the touchdown.
Yeah, he short-armed it. He knew he was going to take a shot. He absolutely short-armed it, Ron. That's Daniel Drayton, a strong safety back there. And you just don't see Best drop balls like that.
So a field goal attempt. This is going to be placed down at the 29-yard line. So a 39-yard attempt. Missed his first attempt of the night. This one right here, he's got plenty of distance. And he's no good. This one is going to be wide left.
Today, USC against a BCS opponent there. So that all changed today with USC losing to UCLA.
Okay, Jerry. Brennan dumps the ball off, gets a middle screen, and that's Ilawa. Ilawa lost a headgear. I beg your pardon, it was a defender who lost a headgear on the play as the tackle was made by Isaiah Cook, number 12.
Well, it's nice that Ilawa can play some tonight, Ron, with that heel bruise. A sixth-year senior. You mentioned he's from Stafford, Virginia. His father, who was in the Marines, was transferred before his senior year at North Stafford High School out here to the islands, and decided that he wanted to come play here. Was going to Virginia Tech to be a defensive back and ended up here. It'd be a shame on senior night if he weren't able to play.
Yeah, that's for sure. Picked up about 6.5 yards in that last play. Colt, little too far on that pass right there, incomplete. And it was Bess is the man that he was intending it for. And it'll be third down.
And I love the reaction of Colt Brennan. He knew he missed it. And you just don't see that very much. On an out route, Colt Brennan is usually right on the money.
See his numbers tonight, 10 of 14, 129 yards.
And they've seen pressure a lot on third down. And the receivers all for Hawaii, they read that and they'll break it off quickly. Wouldn't be surprised if this is some type of slant over here to the three wide receiver side.
Men in the box on this play. That pass caught at the 40-yard line. Stepping out of bounds quickly is, and it's Chad Mock, who had just come into the lineup. Senior out of right here in Honolulu. Have not seen him very much tonight.
Well, this Colt Brennan saw one-on-one on that side and just makes an excellent throw on the back shoulder of Mock. That's the second time we've seen that, Ron. When Brennan sees that the defensive back does not turn and watch him, he knows he can throw it behind him because the receiver is watching him the whole way.
Blitz coming right up the middle. Collision there as Cornell came in and bumped into the quarterback, and that drew a reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, they don't want him to hit their quarterback too much. Very protective out here on the islands of Colt Brennan.
Snap. False start. Number 75 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Oh, there is no 75.
Well, that goes along with the mystery timeout,
yeah.
The fumble that, the pass that wasn't a pass.
Yeah. Could have been Hercules Satele, 65 maybe.
Samson Satele is the center. He's number 64. So side by side they play. First down and 15. And this is Ilawa as a blocker in front. Puts a head down and fights his way to around the 36. And that's Peyton coming up to make the stop on that free safety position. Game track tonight, Colt Brennan. And more for Oregon State with the touchdown pass to his tight end. And then the long kickoff return. Lawson goes 100 yards to put his ball club on top, 14-7, and that's how we stand right now as the clock runs almost under 9 minutes to play in this opening half. Ilawa again. And the tackle this time again. Dorian Smith is there to make the stop. So Hawaii running the football much more tonight, and to try to keep Oregon State's defense off balance, I suppose.
And Ilawa is such a good weapon. And here on 3rd and short, because he is so powerful, I wouldn't be surprised, Ron, because it's been so effective. Just use him again.
See, that is what's a reversal. 16 minutes time of possession. Normally Hawaii is on the short end because they score so quickly. Short drop, pass batted into the air. And in fact, it was Colt Brennan who went back over and tried to make a reception of the batted ball.
And I think this is a position where June Jones will go for it. Dan Kelly's already missed 2 field goals in this swirling wind. And you're on the 32. If you punt the ball and it goes into the end zone, which it most likely will, you'd only gain 12 yards of field position. So this is a great opportunity to go for it here on 4th.
So 4th down, and the Warriors will go for it. Just over a yard to pick up the first. You see their conversions on the season, 7 of 18. Blitz, and Colt Brennan's going to hold on to it. 5, 10, 15, 1st and 10. They'll have it at the 13-yard line. Brian Payton saved what could have been a touchdown.
You know, you mentioned earlier, Ron, when Brennan took off, that he doesn't lack for speed. He's actually a very good runner. He's their 2nd leading rusher. And in a passing offense, you wouldn't think that, because in college football, sacks take away rushing yards. And how many times do you expect to see a run and shoot based offense run an option? But that's exactly what Brennan's athleticism gives you. He just gives you that other wrinkle. How do you defend it?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The headache that it gives a defensive coordinator, because normally the quarterback is not a guy who is accounted for unless you're facing one of the super runners in college football. 19 yards on that last play. Going for the end zone. Got a man wide open. It's a little too far for Dickerson. I mean, Ross was there. He had beaten his man, and the ball looked as though it was thrown a little late, and it was a little too far.
And he threw it flat. He threw that ball, and there you just saw right as we cut back, Brennan tapping himself in the chest. He knew he threw this ball a little flat so Dickerson couldn't run underneath of it. Now, it's a windy night, and so Brennan's probably thinking keep your ball a little lower than normal, but he knew he needed to get a little more air under that.
Down at this end of the field, though, you remember the pass that Moore threw, the long pass, and it went almost 10 yards over the receiver's head. Obviously, it is really taken off going in that direction. 2nd down. Ilava bounces it outside at the 10, at the 5, and he will bounce his way literally to almost the 3-yard line.
Hard to believe that this was a 185-pound slot wide receiver in North Stafford High School in Stafford, Virginia 6 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday, and I thought that was, hey, what's the fastest that you ever ran in the 40s at a 4.38? And we
asked him how much he weighed.
Said, how much did you weigh? He said 185.
Yeah. But, you know, it's amazing, Ron, how quick he is for 254 pounds. You'd expect him to be a bruiser, but he's actually an avoid runner. He likes to bounce it to the outside and make people miss.
Almost went to Virginia Tech. Sample in motion, steps up under pressure, looking, he's going to carry it. Touchdown, Colt Brennan.
Until tomorrow how close he was to being sacked by Van Orso. Orso did an excellent job battling
on the fly.
All right, Jerry, we get to see the Warriors offense again. That is a sample who resets himself, bottom of your screen. Short drop out of the backfield. Got this one complete to Ilawa. And Derek Doggett, it comes over to make the stop. Reese Davis, let's check in with you. You still awake?
Hey, Ron, I'm still here. Taco Bell studio update for those who might have missed it. USC and UCLA. Trojans driving for a go-ahead score, and Eric McNeil of UCLA snuffs it out and ends USC's national title hopes. Bruins win the game 13-9.
Okay, Reese, thanks so much. Boy, a lot of people shocked over that one. Out here in the islands they were. That was the only thing they would talk about other than tonight's ball game here against Oregon State. 2nd down. Zings this one out in the flat. Got it complete to Rivers. And the ball came loose. And now here comes a late flag in.
It's got to be. I could think that would be over there, Ron, as a personal foul.
Well, He was looking and discussing.
Brandon Hughes was over there fighting for the ball with Rivers.
But also he said something to Victor Butler. See if he'll give us a number on the jersey.
The play is over. Personal foul, late hit, number 39 defense, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, they got to apologize to Victor. It was not him.
And the ball does come out from Rivers. He goes
Drayton
and gets it. And here comes Drayton. Came in late. The whistle must have had to have blown because the player was down with the ball.
So running play. Here's Ilawa. Turns the corner. Blocker in front. And is going to be stopped at the 46-yard line. That's a gain of about 8. And it's Brian Payton who is there to make the tackle.
And Hawaii needs to get going a little bit. With 2 timeouts, they're able to run some, but now they're coming right up to the line of scrimmage as the clock continues to melt.
Ilawa goes out of the ball game, so they're bringing another wide receiver. No, beg your pardon. Maia, number 34. Reagan, the other tailback, checks into the lineup. Here comes a blitz off the corner. Pass is caught at the 45 by Bess. Bess breaks the tackle. Did he get out of bounds? No. The official says spin the clock. They'll stop it momentarily for the first down to move the chains, but he's down at the 34.
Bess is so good with the ball in his hands, Ron. Watch how quickly when he gets the ball he starts to make moves and make people miss. This is why June Jones said he may end up being the best receiver he's ever coached. And you're talking about guys like Andre Rison and stuff. I mean, that's pretty high talking from a guy who was a head coach in the NFL.
55 seconds left until halftime. Going through his reads, throws this one away. Did he get it complete? Yes. And the official, this is unbelievable, says wind the clock. He didn't get out of bounds. He got knocked 3 yards out of bounds.
Well,
that was Bess.
And because he wound the clock, June Jones had to take a timeout there.
So a timeout has been called by Hawaii. They stopped the clock with 41 seconds showing on the clock.
Well, this is one Brennan may have wanted to throw away. You got to save these timeouts thrown in front of the sticks. Not quite sure why they would wind the clock there. Yeah, players.
Never mind.
Player was knocked out of bounds.
Coming up at halftime, no Troy in Glendale. A mountainous victory, and also Wake awakens. I just want to say one thing. Jim Grobe, I know that there are a lot of people, and there are a lot of different competitions for National Coach of the Year. But I'll tell you what, if Jim Grobe is not Coach of the Year with what he has done with a Wake Forest team that is talented, yes, but when you lose your starting quarterback, your first tailback, then you lose your second tailback, and the third one, you move in from wide receiver, and he gets dinged, and you don't have him for a game, and you win your conference championship. I'll tell you what, my hat's off, and what a classy guy. It's a classy operation there, and they deserve a huge pat on the back. In fact, I have a feeling that a lot of Demon Deacons may still be up down in Jacksonville now.
Riley Skinner, the quarterback, he's from there. I'm sure he's still having a good time.
Quick out pass. Got this one thrown to Bess. Tries to turn the corner. Going to be tackled at the 21-yard line. And that's Piscatelli.
Well, now Ron, with 1 timeout in 34 seconds. 3-4 plays in there. I think you might want to try to get one closer and then take a couple of shots and save that timeout in case you need it for your field goal unit.
First down, swings it out, got it to Bryce Mullins, going to run out of bounds, and then is thrown down. I'll tell you something. I'm not going to get into it with the officials, but these guys have missed so many things tonight, and I mean both ways. They're going to get somebody hurt, start throwing some flags. You hear the boos from the crowd. That young man's out of bounds 3 yards, and he still gets collared.
Hawaii now in great position going out of bounds. Yeah. Well, it looked like a continuation. I don't know that Brian Payton
Piscatelli was still holding the receiver down just a moment ago. There was no flag. We saw the fisticuffs down here with the offensive lineman when he got called to the sideline, and they scored on the next play. So this has been a strangely officiated ball game, both ways, not just one way, both ways.
I think you've got to think end zone.
Here comes pressure. Steps up, got a ball in the end zone, touchdown Hawaii. And there's a flag down at the 1-yard line. Best made the reception. Now let's see what the call was.
Number 4 in the defense.
What an unbelievable job by Colt Brennan. Now ties B.J. Simmons for the single-season touchdown for second place behind David Klingler. But watch him avoid, sees his receiver, and gets it off. He has such a quick release. That's what allows him to make this play, Ron. He can get it out of his hands so quickly. He sees it and throws it. Doesn't have to wind up to toss it.
I thought, wow, you'd be better off playing football.
Back in the pocket, Brennan, and that ball just thrown away. Up the sideline, he had Dickerson coming with double coverage, but I think what he saw being already in the end zone, he just threw that one away.
Well, you saw the missed field goals early on. Of course, the wind wreaking havoc on these kickers. Dan Kelly, who had only missed one kick all year long. And Oregon State lucky to be at a 21-21 tie, but so efficient. They just, you give them the ball and something's going to happen. They're going to at least attempt a field goal or score a touchdown almost every time.
So it's 2nd down and 10 from their own 1-yard line. Quick pass throwing at the middle screen, and that's Sample, and he will bring it out to around the 4-yard line. And now it's going to be 3rd down. Sample, a senior out of Washington Township. He was a walk-on originally, and as we said back in the first half, had a huge ball game against Nevada right here at the Aloha Stadium. Had a 63-yard touchdown pass where the defense got confused and he just was wide open.
Wouldn't be surprised at another flanker screen here, Ron. Don't want to spend too much time with your quarterback in the end zone.
Blitz coming off the corner, sets quickly, throws the ball, got a man complete out at the 21-yard line. That's Bess. I mean, when Bess catches the football, folks, he is full tilt in one step.
He snatches it, Ron. You hear scouts in the NFL talk about guys who catch with their hands like that. When the ball hits their hands, it just stops instantly. They don't have to double clutch it. It doesn't move around. He absolutely just snatches it out of the air.
Piscatelli is the man who made the tackle. Maiwa will leave the game as the running back. Dickerson has checked back in, and it is Dickerson lining up in the backfield as a tailback this time. And they give it to him. A run to the right side. Nice job, Van Orso. Jeff was right there to knock him down for about a 3-yard loss.
Well, it's been another huge night for Devon Bess. Bess over 1,000 yards receiving on the year. 8 catches for 89 yards already, and we've still got 10:33 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is a guy June Jones took a bit of a chance on. He got in some trouble out of high school, was incarcerated for 15 months, and that's what June Jones has done, though. He said, you know, I find guys that maybe we wouldn't have a chance on, and they have a little past, and we bring them in, and we work very hard to keep them on the straight and narrow.
Rivers bumped out of bounds hard at the 40-yard line. Piscatelli is the man who makes the tackle.
Well, Rivers, glad to have him back. Had a big year in 2004. Missed last year. He was academically ineligible. And all of these guys, Ron, Bess, Grice, Mullen, they're also good after the catch. Not a lot of throws down the field in the run and shoot. So your guys have to be good with the ball in their hands, and all of these guys are.
From the 42. Got this one complete. Going to be a gain of about 10 yards to Sample. Tackle made immediately by Francis.
You know, you mentioned that Sample was a walk-on, and when he got here, could barely catch. But June Jones just stuck with this guy, now a senior, and you see him, just like all the other receivers, they catch the ball with their hands. They don't body it. And that's what makes this offense so efficient, is these guys, they catch the ball on the run, and they're still running away from defenders.
Sample a couple of catches for 16 yards tonight. Boy, they're spread out all over the field again. Blitz coming off the corner, going to have to hurry, and he dumps it right up the middle on the screen. Ilawa makes the catch and will take it down to around the 43-yard line. Dorian Smith, who's had a nice ball game tonight, we've called his name several times, made the tackle. He's going to come out of the lineup right now.
Well, we'll take a look at Colt Brennan's pass chart, and it'll show you why the receivers have to be so good after the catch. They just don't throw the ball down the field very much. It's a quick rhythm passing attack. You were the first when we were watching film about how quickly the ball gets out, and they don't want to throw it down the field much. They want these receivers, these athletic receivers, get the ball and run with it.
Well, you also lessen the likelihood of sacks. The defensive line simply can't get there. What you have to do is put linebackers in position to cut off routes, as that's going to be another first down. And now all of a sudden Sample has become the favorite target, and for some reason they have found out that defending him, they're not doing such a good job.
You know, the only way you can really stop this offense, and stop means hold it to 21, 28 points, is if you play man coverage all the time and you're able to get pressure. And Oregon State choosing to play zone, and it was funny yesterday, Colt Brennan said June Jones loves zones. We'll figure out a way to pick apart a zone, and that's exactly what's happening so far this evening.
Tied at 21. Hawaii driving. There's that middle screen again to Rivers. Rivers inside the 30-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 8.5 yards on this play. And now Hawaii, it seems as though, getting into a rhythm as Oregon State has a player down.
That's one of their best pass rushers, Jeff Van Orso.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose him. Of course, Van Orso will always be remembered as the guy who deflected John David Booty's two-point conversion against USC to preserve the 33-31 win.
He's a very consistent ball player. The coaches say, you know, equally adept at stopping the run as also to being a good pass rusher. Hopefully he is okay and will be back on the field shortly.
Well, Colt Brennan's really in some rhythm right now, Ron, and they have not blitzed. Oregon State has not blitzed on this drive. I think it may be time to try to get him out of rhythm with a blitz.
Well, it looked as though the head coach called that timeout. I don't know if he had the wrong personnel grouping in there for what he wanted called or what, but June Jones was right there and hollered out to the officials that we want a timeout.
Correct myself, there was the one blitz. It was that corner blitz, but they had the perfect play. They had the shovel pass set up on that exact play, and Brennan was able to get that off. And that's what you do with this offense. If you think the pressure is going to come, it's almost impossible to defend that little shovel. It's almost like a little screen inside.
Sunday night, join Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz for a complete breakdown of each and every college football bowl game. The 2006 Bowl Selection Special on ESPN at 10 Eastern. Also available in high definition on ESPN HD and on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern.
Well, the interesting one will, of course, be the big one. January 8th in Glendale, Arizona. I really think Florida has a chance, Ron. I think that the computers are going to love that win today against Arkansas, and I think they're going to get close enough in the human polls to Michigan to make it very interesting.
7 straight completions for Brennan now, and Brennan 73 yards on those 7 straight that he has completed. Gives it to Ilawa. Tries to bounce it outside, and he does. 25 at the 20. Still rolling, and he'll be down to the 19-yard line. When we did Boise and Nevada last week, it was interesting in talking to the Nevada players. They said, don't be fooled. These guys can run the ball. And they said they kept running this big guy, and we just couldn't do much with him. And that's the big guy they're talking about, Nate Ilawa.
Well, and you know, he has that heel bruise from the end of the game last week against Purdue and that great comeback win at home for Hawaii. But the way he's planting and pushing off of that, it doesn't seem to be bothering him.
Yeah, he seems to be getting better as the game goes on. He's replaced on this play by Maiwa. This is going to go for a sack, and there is Dorian Smith again. Boy, nice job by him tonight. He's going to come right out of the ball game. You see him patting himself on the headgear.
And he's one of the guys that one of the 5 contributors on defense that Oregon State brought in during the offseason from junior college. And Smith has really turned up his game. He helps this team be one of the best sack teams in the country. They are the best in the Pac-10.
4 tonight, 42 on the season. So it's a second down now and very long. They got to take this ball all the way down to the 9.5-yard line if they want to keep it going. Blitz coming off the corner, shovel pass. Turning the corner, Maia, and he finally will be tackled at around the 14-yard line. So it's going to be 5 yards still to go to get the first down.
Well, he runs exactly the same as Ilawa. They're both short, thick guys, and you just can't tackle them high.
See, 2 stiff arms that look helpless, but they're more than helpless.
Yeah, because they're so big and compact, you have to go. You said at their ankles, but at least at their knees. You just have to submarine guys that are this big and this powerful.
There's a good look at Reagan. Former defensive lineman. Blitz coming right up the middle. Gonna have to hurry. Steps up, now throws, and intercepted by Oregon State. Here, couldn't agree more. Shovel pass, Ilawa with a head of steam. And if you don't think 256 pounds can ramble, just go back and take one look at that.
Well, there's a flag in the Hawaii backfield for roughing the passer, so they're going to tack that on to the end of the run.
Hard to see it with all the paper out there on the field.
Yeah, that was a
helmet to
hit. Yeah, Naaman Frank. You duck your head, they're going to call it. But boy.
Contact to the head. Number 91, defense. 15 yards to be assessed from the end of the run. Automatic push down.
Ilawa can really fly, though, Ron. When he gets out into that area, it's amazing how quick he is for a 255-pound guy.
So just like that, with the penalty and the 34-yard advancement by Ilawa, they have now flipped the field, so to speak, on Oregon State. Brennan steps up, drills the ball, got it to Bess, and Bess will take it inside the 15 to the 14. Christic makes the tackle.
You know, one of the things yesterday we were visiting with June Jones that he talked about that he does with his team is he puts a lot of pressure on them internally. He allows cameras into the locker room. He tells them how good they are, and he compares them to some of the great players he coached in the NFL. He does that on purpose because he wants them ready for these types of moments. Down 28-21, national TV, how are you going to react? And it's not new to them. This doesn't feel new to Hawaii.
About to go under 4 minutes to play, third quarter. There's that middle screen again. Still dancing around as Sample, and Sample's going to wind up losing yardage, an abundance of it after he continued to run behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, at some point you just need to fall forward and not try to lose. What did he lose, 6 yards on that one? 5?
Yeah, it is going to be about 6 yards on the play.
And there's June Jones, who acts as his own offensive coordinator, of course. This run and shoot offense, he started running at Portland State under Mouse Davis, who's now his running backs coach. So these two guys have been at it for a long time. He could call this in his sleep.
Second down, line to make is the 5-yard line. Hawaii trails it 28-21. Here comes an all-out blitz. Bad pass from center, and he's going to be sacked by Doggett way back at around, let's see where they're going to say, inside the 35-yard line. They're lucky they held on to the football.
Well, Samson Satele, the center, making his 52nd career start. It wasn't that far off the mark, but he threw it a little too hard. You know, if it's going to be off the mark, it's got to be a touch snap. And Satele just fired that ball back there, and Brennan took his eye off it for half a second.
Boy, third down, and you would like to have this much real estate just to be able to sell here in Honolulu. You could make a lot of coins off of it. Shovel pass. Ilawa runs over a man, and he almost picked up the first down. What do you do here? Do you kick the field goal, or do you go for it?
Well, the adrenaline and the momentum says that June Jones may think about it, but I think he should take the points. You've got a kicker, although he missed 2 long ones earlier. Kelly's been automatic this year. I think you got to put the points up.
Piscatelli is the man who finally put the stopper on him. So this attempt will come from the far hash mark, and we will call it officially 27 yards. Well, now they're saying 26. Okay. And he got it.
Better comebacks this year than they had been in the past.
See pressure coming off the corner, and now whistles and flags.
False start, number 72. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still.
Uparesu, number 72. Dane, a senior, came out of his stance.
Well, and now Oregon State, Ron, I think with an 11-point lead, one of the things that Colt Brennan said that teams have tried to do is play kind of an umbrella, a 2 or 3 deep zone, and just keep everything in front of them to make Hawaii earn it. And I think that's where Oregon State may be in that position to do that. Don't know that they need to bring a bunch of pressure, make them earn it and see if they can't burn this clock out.
You see him stepping up right there. They want him with like 10 men in the box, and Brennan's just going to hold on to the football and pick up 5 yards. LaRock was over there to force him out.
And if you're Hawaii, if you're over near the sidelines, you're down 2 possessions, which obviously is not a very big deal with this offense, but we know how the new clock works. It'll start to melt pretty quickly here in the 4th quarter. And so June Jones needs to be telling his specialists, if you're over near the sidelines, just go ahead and step out. We'd rather you get out of bounds and get an extra yard or 2 and stay inbounds.
Bryce Mullen. Around, and I'll tell you, because of that lick, nice job defensively by Apalava, because he kept him from picking up the first down. Gave him a shove back just enough.
And you're just thinking about first downs. Stay in your rhythm if you're Hawaii. And on 3rd and short, one of those big tailbacks might get the call in between the tackles.
Hawaii 5 of 10 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Third down, quarterback sneak, and Brennan will have the first down.
And the reason I think that Hawaii needs to maybe just hurry up a little bit, Ron, is Oregon State has been so efficient on offense tonight. They've been able to pretty much do whatever they've won. They don't have a ton of yards at 351, but the mix of the run and the pass, they're not going to get conservative when they come back out on the field, regardless of what happens.
Well, Bernard is consistent enough. He's already got 95 yards tonight and a touchdown. That with 2 or 3 first downs, and they could run this clock down and out. Long. It is intercepted at the 45 by Piscatelli. Blitz coming right up the middle by Oregon State. Going to go on top. Man is there and couldn't adjust to it. Bryce Mullen, for some reason, did not begin to veer to his right. That ball was close enough, I thought, to have been caught.
I don't think he got his eye on it quick enough. But as good as Brennan was in the first half, he hasn't been quite that sharp here in the second. The interception, the one in the end zone where Devon Best came out of his break a little funky, not really his fault, but the one where Piscatelli undercut Dickerson, and then that ball there, we're so used to seeing him being more accurate than that.
We missed 6 in the first half and 4 here in the second half. Here comes pressure. Got a man right over the middle. That's Dickerson. And Dickerson will be tackled just shy of the 25. So that brings up 3rd down. They got to take it to the 23. Doggett made the tackle. And if Oregon State had a stop in this ball game, they need one right here because we've gone under 9 minutes to play.
Well, if I'm Oregon State, I'd be very concerned about that shovel pass, Ron. It's worked almost every time Hawaii has run it.
Particularly if you're coming pell-mell for the quarterback.
Absolutely. Maiwa is in there to the left.
And they get him out in coverage. The ball thrown and is caught at the 15-yard line. And coverage was all over Rivers, but he still gathered it in. And it's a 1st down Hawaii. Brandon Hughes defensively.
What a great catch by Rivers. Probably could have called Hughes for pass interference. He never did take his hands off of Rivers, but Rivers did a good job of getting that inside hand free. Make the catch.
Tonight 4 of 7 inside the red zone. Clock is about to go under 8 minutes. And this is what you were talking about. Need to kind of get in a hurry. There's the shovel pass right up the middle, and it's not going to go for much. Ilawa caught it, but Oregon State was right there. He said, nah, fool us once. You know the story. Anyway, Butler and LaRock combined on the stop right there. Nice job by them.
Yeah. And LaRock has been one of the guys for this Oregon State defense who's really turned it up in this since that 2-3 start.
So Hawaii breaks the huddle, comes to the line of scrimmage. Seems like 2 minutes ago that I was saying we are going under 9. We're now under 7.5 minutes. See Oregon State creeping up. Here they come, and Colt gonna hold on to it himself, dives for the 1st down, and the official from where he's put his foot down, he's gonna have the 1st down. Victor Butler finally forced him out.
Well, and it was Victor Butler coming off the edge who doesn't keep contained. There's just no reason for Butler to come all the way down inside. Backside end, stay as deep as the ball, and if you don't know where the ball is, stay as deep as the deepest man. And that time, the deepest man was Colt Brennan, and he just came way down inside.
So it is a 1st and goal, and the ball is just inside the 5-yard line. Actually, they're saying the 4. Looking, goes for the end zone. That's going to be well overthrown. And again tonight, even though the wind has dropped off some, passing going left to right as they are right now, Oregon State had the same trouble. The ball, it really takes off on you.
It's interesting that Brennan goes all the way over to June Jones every single time. They had some troubles with some communication issues, the receivers coming in not knowing exactly what Coach Jones wanted called. So he's changed his system, and Brennan just immediately goes right over to the head coach between each play.
His numbers now 34 of 45, 376 yards. Right over the middle, there he is. Touchdown, Bryce Mullen.
Well, even though Derek Doggett is the fastest linebacker for Oregon State, you're just not going to be able to play with Bryce Mullins in space. And of course now Hawaii down 5, going to go for 2.
Well, he's now 1 away from tying the record. Single season touchdown passes.
I think you're going to have some kind of crossing route here. If there's man coverage, I would suspect over to the left some type of rub route with someone coming in and rubbing off and someone breaking to the inside quickly.
Brennan rolls the pocket, and boy,
that wasn't a very good call.
I can't figure out what they were trying to do. Dorian Smith.
Yeah. And you can tell by June Jones' reaction that play did not work out like they
blew up immediately. Let's take a timeout. 35-30, our new score. Oregon State. 5 on the return from the 40-yard line of Oregon State. Quick look-in pass. That middle screen. And off and running at the 25 is Sample. And Sample is down all the way to the 21-yard line.
And Sample is cramping. Grabbing that hamstring like it's cramped. It doesn't look like, the way that leg is straight, doesn't look like a pull. But Sample's the quick guy. Boy, it's hard to believe that he came here and had bad hands, Ron, because that ball was thrown behind him. And he's running towards the quarterback. Very difficult catch to make.
Van Orso with a great job of hustle downfield. Once he saw the play going in that direction, got over to knock him down and make the tackle. Clock runs, 3.5 minutes to play. Looking deep. Pressure is on. Gets by 1. Now dumps it off. And he got it off to Maia. And Maia will take it down to the 19-yard line.
Who does he think he is? Troy Smith? You'll meet Troy in a couple of weeks at the Davey O'Brien award ceremony down in Florida.
Dorian Smith, give him credit with some really nice pressure on Colt Brennan on the play. So it's 2nd down, and now Oregon State wants a timeout. They want to make sure that there is
due tonight against Oregon State on ESPN, and in the bowl game, he was preparing this young man to not be afraid of these big lights.
He's now over 400 yards, 401 to be exact, 37 of 48. It's his 7th 400-yard game of the season. Under pressure, going to be sacked. That is a huge play by Dorian Smith. And how many times have we called his name tonight? Dorian, a junior out of Van Nuys, California. And the one thing that I had written by his name on my sheet, the coaches said he is beginning to learn how to play.
Well, and Brennan, that was just bad blocking up front. The left side of the offensive line for Hawaii, I don't think they knew that Colt Brennan was going to be sprinting towards their direction because they just totally let Dorian Smith go.
That's the 6th time that he has been sacked tonight. 3rd down, and got to go all the way to the 13-yard line. Looking, got a man over the middle, and that was good coverage by Oregon State. Jason Rivers is the man that he wanted, but Brandon Hughes had the angle. He had cut in front of the receiver.
Yeah, and the crowd wanted some type of pass interference, but Hughes would just step for step. Now 4th down, 2:12 to go, down 5. You have no choice but to go for it.
Shows you how big that 2-point conversion was just a moment ago.
And I think it's got to be a guy like Devon Bess. Devon Bess is so good in space. You may not have time, Ron, to have someone run around beyond the sticks with the distance this long. So get it to Bess quickly and see if you can't make somebody miss.
So let's see. Here's the situation. 4th down. Got to take it to the 13-yard line. Drills the ball. It is underthrown. It bounces